Welcome back to another Reflect video. So after the brutal start to the 118th Congress, in which Kevin McCarthy made all sorts of unknown deals with the extremist MAGA faction of the Republican Party in order to win the House speakership, Republicans today managed to squeak by a new rules package for the House. But during debate prior to that vote, Democratic Representative from Massachusetts, James P. McGovern, stood up and issued a stern warning as to what McCarthy's secret deals with people like Lauren Boebert and Matt Gaetz might actually mean for government and the American public for the next 2 years.
Our Republican friends campaigned on the claim that they would fight against inflation and fight for the American people. But instead, all they've done is come to Washington and fight with each other. In fact, what's become crystal clear over the past few days is the extent to which the Republican Party has been hijacked by an extremist MAGA faction, a faction not interested in governing, but in their own egos, a faction not interested in compromise, but in their own power, a faction not interested in putting people over politics, but instead interested in putting their own political ambition over the people we serve. Now, here we are, nearly a week later, considering their deeply flawed rules package. The first legislation on the floor by this new majority, and they are using it to gut the Office of Congressional Ethics, attack women's access to abortion, make it easier for big oil companies to pollute, and interfere in ongoing criminal investigations into President Trump. They're making it easier for billionaires and big corporations to avoid paying their taxes. Is that part of their contract with America? Is that their big plan to help everyday people? Because most people who read this package would think it must be a joke. And what I'm concerned about is not just what's written down here. I'm concerned by the backroom deals that Speaker McCarthy made with the Freedom Caucus in exchange for their votes. Like Republican Congresswoman Nancy Mace said just this weekend, and I quote, "We don't have any idea what promises were made." This is unconscionable. We're only 1 week into this, and this is how they're running this place. There's a report out by Punchbowl News, and let me read it. It said there's also a secret 3-page addendum that McCarthy and his allies hashed out during several days of grueling negotiations with the House Freedom Caucus. This pact includes the most controversial concessions that McCarthy made in order to become Speaker. 3 seats on the Rules Committee for conservatives, freezing spending at FY 2022 levels, a debt ceiling strategy, coveted committee assignments, and more. Is this what the majority leader meant when he talked about a new day and transparency? You know, these rules are not a serious attempt at governing. They're essentially a ransom note to America from the extreme right. The same members of Congress who held this body hostage last week are the ones who ran interference for the January 6th insurrectionists who tried to overturn a free and fair election. And even the new Speaker of the House voted to overturn the 2020 elections. We couldn't even get a public acknowledgement from him on the 2-year anniversary of that horrific day, not even a tweet. It is clear that Republicans welcomed the election deniers into their ranks with open arms, and now they are reaping what they have sown. The insurrectionists are in charge. I'm reminded of the words of President Kennedy, and I quote, "In the past, those who foolishly sought power by riding the back of the tiger ended up inside," end quote. The American people get it. They rejected extremism in the last 2 elections. That's why they picked Joe Biden, and that's why the red wave turned into a pink splash. But my Republican friends still aren't listening, and in fact, they're still empowering the extremists. Don't take my word for it. Let's go through their rules package. They're giving a single member the ability to remove the Speaker at any time, letting a small far-right faction hold their leadership hostage. They're trying to shut down criminal investigations into the former president's wrongdoing. They are making it easier to slash taxes on billionaire corporations while dismantling the social safety net. They're giving committee chairs unbalanced discretion over which witnesses can testify, rejecting pandemic safety procedures like remote voting, and trying to force an end to the congressional staff unionization. And the icing on the cake? A new subcommittee to push QAnon conspiracies and launch fake investigations into non-existent scandals. What's next? A rule requiring we all wear tinfoil hats? This package is disrespectful not just to this institution, but to the people who sent us here to govern. I urge a no vote, and I reserve my time.
If you thought this video was thought-provoking, please let us know what your takeaway was by reflecting in the comments of this video. And if you want to be the first to know when Reflect releases videos, be sure to subscribe and turn on your notifications so that you get Reflect's videos delivered to your inbox. Thank you guys for watching. For Reflect, I'm Brendan Plank.